Shall we start, sir?
Sure, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Devarajan, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Shall we start?
Sir, shall we start, sir?
Sure.
Okay.
SM, sir, okay? SM, sir?
Sir, Muranam, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Sir, start பண்ணலாம்ல?
Shall we start, sir?
பண்ணிடலாம் sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, thanks. Yeah, ma'am. Okay.
Yes. Good
Madam,
morning
உங்க
to...
வாய்ஸ் கொஞ்சம் எக்கோ
Yeah.
ஆகிற மாதிரி இருக்கு. Audio
Now we
பாத்துங்க.
got my
Okay.
YouTube was good morning to one and all gathered through this virtual platform. Happy to meet you all on this Sunday, the 5th day of the 7 days webinar series on quality enhancing strategies to confront the challenges of the revised assessment and accreditation framework of NAC, organized by IQAC of Erode Arts and Science College. It's a pleasure to have with us today a true academician with a rich profile from a reputed institution, Dr. T. Robinson from Madras Christian College, Chennai. I now invite Dr. M. Devarajan, Assistant Professor of Corporate Secretaryship and member of IQAC, to welcome all and introduce the resource person. Sir, please.
Thank you, madam. Honorable Secretary and Correspondent, Admirable Principal, esteemed Controller of Examination, most respected Chief Guest, respected heads and faculty participants from our own institution and other institution across the country, respected IQAC coordinator, criterion in charges and department coordinators. Good morning to one and all present here. I take great pride in delivering the welcome address. I welcome the man who does not need any introduction and known among all of us for his wisdom and his knowledge, none other than Sadhani Chammal, Thiru K. Balasamy sir, Secretary and Correspondent. Welcome you, sir. I welcome our admirable principal, Dr. R. Venkatachalam. It's our sense of commitment which sets an apt platform for us to grow both mentally and spiritually. So in this occasion with the merging of minds, I welcome you, sir. I welcome the intellectual personality for this technical session, Dr. Robinson Tamburaj, Associate Professor and Head, Mathematics, the former coordinator of IQAC, Madras Christian College. Your presence for this webinar, festive ad, glitters to us. You are the person who embraces, challenges, believe in continuous effort. Indeed, your work ethics is true reflection that inspire everyone to achieve the pinnacle. We extend our genial welcome you, sir. We indeed our immense pleasure to welcome Dr. M. Venkatachalam, sir, Controller of Examination. You are the true inspiration for students, both in academic and emotional font. We are delighted to have with you, sir. It is our esteemed privilege to welcome my head, Dr. N. A. Krishnamurthy, and heads, faculty participants from our own institution and other institutions across the country. We do acknowledging your divine presence as it is an explicit sign of your concern for us. We gladly welcome you all and wish you a splendid time with us. I extend a hearty welcome to our IQAC coordinator, criterion in charges, department coordinators. Once again, I welcome you all to this session. Now let us move to introduction of the today's resource person. I feel extremely honored to introduce the chief guest, Dr. Robinson Tamburaj, Professor and Head, Mathematics, former coordinator, IQAC Cell, Madras Christian College, who is renowned an academician and researcher. It is such a privilege to have him on this occasion as a resource person. He served with distinction as the former coordinator IQAC since 2016. As a coordinator, SKHU Indian Window Program from January to December 2017. Acted as a Dean, International Programs. Acted as a Coordinator, Planning and Development since from 2012 to 2017. As a President, Student Service for the Blind since from 2002 to 2007. And Staff Advisor, College Union Society since from 1995 to 97. As a Program Coordinator, M-Service Learning Program since 2015. President of Mathematical Association. For his pioneering work, he has received awards and honors. Honorary Visiting Fellow conferred by Liverpool Hope University, UK. Tamil Nadu Innovation Award conferred by Confederation of Indian Industry, Chennai. National Award, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment conferred by President of India, Friend of Blind conferred by Welfare Foundation of Blind, Chennai. He actively participated and advisory member of various information technology group and doctoral committee for PhD scholars. He has got received 4 research fellowship and postdoctoral fellowship from the countries like UK and Japan, and also completed some collaborative research with many universities in foreign countries. He acted as an editor of books and publishing around 70 articles so far. He did his MSc from University of Madras in the year 1986, and he has completed double PhD from University of Madras in 2001 and another University of Tsukuba, Japan, 2007. So with this, I would like to conclude my introduction speech, and now I invite our resource person to handle the session. Thank you, sir. Sir?
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Respected Secretary and Correspondent, Dr. Balaswamy, respected Principal, Dr. Venkatachalam, respected IQAC Coordinator, Dr. Jayasudha, staff, management of Erode Arts and Science College. I'm thankful to come and do my presentation in this webinar. I am thanking God Almighty for giving this opportunity. Though COVID has confined all of us, the challenges and opportunities are very much there. And I'm very happy to share the little experience that I've gained through the NAC process. Now I want to share my screen and I'll move on with the presentation. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I will share the screen now.
Okay.
Hope the screen is visible now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. This is the 5th day in the 7-day series, and most of you are familiar with the NAC criteria. There are 7 criteria, and the SSR manual is available for university, autonomous colleges, and affiliated colleges also. And whichever is your affiliated, your institution, you can choose the relevant manual from the NAC website. It was updated January this year. So my input is basically from the SSR that we have prepared and the experience that we have gone through in the NAC accreditation process. Let's move on. Before I get into the details of the student progression, student support under criteria 5, I want to give certain important steps that we have to be sure of. Well, any college which is doing this A&A process will be having many committees. But here, the foremost or the top is your college governing body or college council. That's the topmost big body that is the apex body that oversees all the functions of the college. As far as NAC thing is concerned, there should be a specific IQAC committee, and NAC has given the guidelines to form IQAC cell and the functions of members of the IQAC committee, the constitution, everything. But we need to have some more committees, especially there are 7 criteria. So it'll be better to have a working committee for each working committee comprising members for each criteria. And then that committee, it is better to have 2 or 3 who are IT savvy. I mean, people who are kind of well-versed with the IT or ICT, they should be part of the committee. Plus 1 or 2 who are good at drafting in English language should also be in that committee. So it can be a 10 or 11 member committee or 12 member committee, including IQAC coordinator. That is the working committee. And then you may have many academic departments, many administrative units or support units. It is better to have a representative from each academic department or from each unit, and they will form another committee. In our college, we call them department nodal officers for IQAC. You can give it by any name, but that's a committee that is having representatives from each department, office, and unit. So these 3 committees are very essential in the functioning of IQAC and preparation of SSR. It may not be possible to have a large team of members because we have about 33 academic departments and we have about 45 units, including administrative units, supports units, service units. So totally we have about 78 entities in our institution. If each entity is having a representative, it's a too large number. So it may be feasible to have a big committee like that. You can very well have a committee of only the department nodal officers, a committee with the office staff representing the staff or unit. That way you can work. But the point is, IQAC committee is the vital or the pivotal committee that will communicate all the matters to the apex unit, that is the governing council. At the same time, it will coordinate the functioning of working committee and other representatives. Fine. The IQAC coordinator has a very big role during the preparation of SSR until the peer team visits the institution. In order to have a clear understanding, the functioning of the committee is very, very important. So it has to be well organized and well structured, and it should be well communicated. So you need to have a good, very strong communication network. It is possible to form a certain email group or a WhatsApp group with the heads alone, another group with the working committee members, and another group with the department nodal officers or the office nodal officers. So there should be separate, exclusive communication network. In our institution, we had formed a WhatsApp group for these 3 bands of people, one with HODs, one with the working committee members, like that. And that's very, very important. And then the communication has to be very clear what you need, the document need that you prepare. So the clarity in communication is very, very important because you may have to prepare a lot of data generation, documentation, writing work, all that. So unless the IQAC coordinator, IQAC office gives a very clear communication to the respective community group, it is difficult. So it is essential to kind of prepare some sample document. It may be a Word file or Word template or Excel template. And what is the document needed? How much should be the size of the document? How many lines or how many sentences? And what's the deadline for reporting? All that should be well spelled, and then it should be passed on to the respective group. So the clarity is very, very important. Sometimes people are very helpful. They can give more than what we need. That is difficult for us to sort out. So it is very important to have a clear communication. And then in IQAC, of course, every IQAC will be having their own data filing system. It has to be really robust. It has to be updated periodically, and it has to be properly categorized. So We may have to sometimes upload the text documents. Sometimes we have to scan and upload the pictures or PDF files. And the pictures have to be kind of sometimes geotagged. We'll talk about that. And it has to be updated systematically, maybe on every Friday or every first Saturday or first Friday of a month. We have to have one pattern so that people will know that by this day it will be updated. So the data filing should be very, very robust. And then this updation should be communicated with the criteria leaders so that they will know that what is the latest or updated version of the document in the IQAC folders. Okay, we'll move on. Our focus is on the fifth criteria, where we talk about student support, student progression, participation, and alumni engagement. Here with slight difference in the three different categories: university, autonomous colleges, and affiliated colleges. The weightage also varies. For autonomous college, we have alumni engagement involved, whereas for affiliated colleges, it may not find its place. In that case, the weightage is slightly different for the other three. It is 30, 30, 30, 10 for autonomous colleges. It will be 40, 40, 20 for other colleges like that. In any case, there are about 100 points out of 1,000 allotted for criteria 5, which means 10% of the marks is from criteria 5. There are about 13 key indicators. Of them, 2 are quality metrics. The other 11 are quantitative metrics, which means you have to provide the data. For the other 2, you have to descriptive write-up. Well, for the QM metrics, already the Word, the Excel template is already provided by the NAC. Whereas for the qualitative, it has to be the write-up in the Word document. Sometimes it is specified what should be the length of the summary, especially when you prepare the criteria-wise summary. They mention it should not exceed 250 words. So when you type in the Word document, you can find the number of words that you have prepared. And if it exceeds the limit, it is difficult to upload on the NAC portal. So you have to comply by the limit it is mentioned. So if it's 250 words, then all the essence of the criteria, the details should be expressed in the 250 words very precisely. There is no room for very flowery language. The facts should be presented very neatly. All that is the content of the 11 quantitative metrics should be neatly summarized and presented in the criteria summary. Okay, as I mentioned, the criteria 5 involves data and inputs from various academic departments, various administrative units, support units, and various offices. So all the offices, departments have to contribute, to give the input. So the leaders or the representatives should communicate with all these units and offices to collect the data. Okay, we'll focus on the 3 aspects. The capacity or capability enhancement initiatives and trainings program done in a college in general. There may be many activities, many initiatives, but unless we document them, all will go waste. So the important point in the NAC thing is that we have to have evidences in the form of write-up, photographs, video clips, newspaper reports. So the documentation is very, very important in the NAC preparation. Well, the college may be offering soft skill training programs. Suppose any institution is not offering that such program, it is good to kind of start initiating such soft skill training programs. Institutions that go for NAC accreditation maybe in 2023 or 24, it's the right time to start certain initiatives. Well, when we say soft skill program, it could be the computer basics, computer knowledge, like spreadsheet, text editing, all that. Or it could be the interview skills or preparation of student profile. All these are very, very essential and can be called as soft skill training. Your institution may be having some HRD unit. It may be having some placement cell. These units can jointly prepare and offer some training to the students. In our institution, we used to give the training to the final year students. Before they leave the college, they have to have the skills of facing the interview board, preparing the CV, all that. So for about 2 semesters, after the class hours, maybe once in 2 weeks, they're given an exposure on the soft skill part. So it is possible to think of or initiating soft skill training program in the college level. Also, it is also good to have some language offered. Okay, I'm sorry for again bringing back my institution. We offer a lot of Indian languages and other foreign languages we offer in our part 1. So it is also possible to think of offering some language training outside the class hours. We have a language laboratory facility which has about 30 computers with a lot of softwares, mainly to test the students on their listening and speaking abilities. So this language lab can be set up and to teach certain other Indian languages or foreign languages. Then counseling courses, physical education and hygiene awareness, all that can be done by departments like physical education and social department and student counseling center. These are the other units that can very well involve, pitch in to develop some programs and offer systematically. Whatever you see on the blue on the right side, these are some of the units which are involved actively in our institution in offering these training programs. And then Center for Indian Administrative Service Coaching. It's a place where students get training on all the different competitive examinations. Our own staff, they come and take classes after the class hours. So this is very, very essential for students who go for competitive examinations, coaching for exams. Well, these are some of the general initiatives college can think of and can offer, and the respective units offices can very well appoint staff in charge and to run these programs. But whatever is done, there must be some program schedule, there must be some invitation. All that document should be preserved. Immediately should be kind of scanned. And once the program is done, list of students participated and their attendance. If they have a logbook for attending the classes, that logbook, and then a report written by the staff in charge, and 1 or 2 pictures of the program, how it was done. And in case there's any newspaper report, that can be taken a picture. All these things should be kind of taken picture or scanned, and a copy should be sent to the IQAC unit by the department nodal officer. This is very, very important. Because finally, we have to upload all these evidences. So whatever program is done, it must be having some invitation, some participants. There'll be some entry by students, and there'll be some reporting by the staff in charge, some pictures, or maybe sometimes newspaper reports also appear. All that would need to be kind of documented. And coming to the special initiatives, apart from the college, some departments may be offering certain programs. For example, there may be some vocational specific training initiatives. A department can offer its own specialty as a certificate course. If it is offered after the class hours, they're all considered to be very important. The NAC appreciates such vocational-based training program offered students. But these certificate courses may not be recognized by any other certifying agency. It may be done locally by the department. There is one level, but it is better to have certificate or diploma programs or courses offered which are recognized by UGC or other government bodies. Recently there was a call by the UGC under MHRD scheme called skill-based courses. That call was announcing 4 or 5 different types of programs: certificate, diploma, postgraduate diploma, degree programs, vocational, all that. And UGC is giving one-time grant to start and run a course up to 25 lakhs. It was kind of the grant is there. So an institution can, at the maximum, can go for 4 such courses, maybe certificate or diploma, maybe one semester or 2 semesters. And these are very much vocational based training programs. This all comply to the National Skill Qualification Framework. That's a standard. There's a standard framework that ensures the quality of the course or the program, the content wise and the training wise. If these courses or certificates are done as per the NSQF framework, then it has to comply with the curriculum specified by the Sector Skill Council. It has to have certain qualification package mandate. It must have certain national occupational standards. All that put together will qualify the certificate or diploma to get the accreditation from the UGC. This, of course, is a competitive basis. It has to be applied to UGC, and it is selected, and it is recognized throughout the country. A student with that certificate diploma can find better job opportunities or employability. And DPT, also Department of Biotechnology, has also, under the Ministry of Science and Technology, has announced a Skill Vigyan program. It's again certificate or diploma courses, mainly offered for life science students. That again gives training for including +2 students, undergraduate students, and technician training. All these programs are kind of funded by DBT, but it has to be approved by the Sector Skill Council. For each course that you offer, it has to be approved by the Sector Skill Council, which has the curriculum designed already. Well, you may wonder what could be the possible topics. I just give few ideas. Suppose you have a Department of Zoology, then vermicompost can be one semester certificate course, or mushroom cultivation by the Department of Botany. Or if chemistry department is well versed with the glass blowing idea, then they can offer scientific glass blowing. So these are some of the courses, diploma or certificate courses the departments can think of. And it must have 60% of practical exposure and 40% general education. It can be taught by college staff, and it can also have 1 or 2 trainers from outside. And it has to be approved by the sector skill. Also, there should be some industry partner tie-up, because the students who undergo this diploma or certificate courses should have hands-on experience. So they have to have an industry partner tied up with the college. And with that, the student can have both academic input from the college as well as the field input from the industry partner. At the end of that course or diploma, they are employable. Once they leave the degree program, they become employable. And these kind of initiatives are very much valued by NAC, because it gives so much of employability to the students. And these courses are very much possible by the academic departments partly, and by the partnering industries. So these initiatives are very much valued by NAC. So next time when the call is open, I think your college can very well take up such initiatives. It is good to start with at least 1 or 2. It may not be possible to start many, but 1 or 2 is easy to kind of plan and go ahead with. Moving on, student support systems. College may be having differently able students, because as per the government norms, they need to be given admission. Whatever be the disability, they need to be given admission, the college. And the college has to prepare resource rooms to support such differently able people. Suppose there's a blind student, the college should install screen reading software. Suppose the person is physically handicapped, it should have wheelchair facility or ramp to all the buildings with handrails. It must have a toilet which is accessible by the disabled people. So the campus should be barrier free. So this way, it is possible to kind of support the mobility of the students and accessibility of information to any differently able student. And the students, some of them may be having difficulty, some of them may be having learning difficulty, some of them are slow learners. So what are the remedial measures for such students identified by the department? So there may be a mentor system in place in some colleges. If not, it is good to think of a mentor system in each department. There will be one staff who is in charge for identifying students who need special support. Students may be having difficulty in maybe language or in English or in understanding. Then remedial classes should be organized. Of course, it is outside the class hours, but it should be kind of structured, and it has to be periodic. It has to be well monitored and documented, and the results outcomes should be also recorded. The library, which is the nerve center of any institution, should also be updated. Nowadays, the Information Library Network is offering a lot of e-resources. The institution can very well register and get all the online e-resources. So naturally, the library should have good internet facility, and then the national portal for teaching enhancing learning, NPTEL videos. There are plenty of videos. If the institution is giving a written request, the bunch of videos are copied in a hard disk and given to the institution for the student usage. So the NPTEL videos can be stored, and there can be a few systems for students to kind of go through all these video lectures. I think there are about 2 to 3 terabytes of videos available from NPTEL that can be made use of. And then a library can very well install the anti-plagiarism software. And the library can also have a small section where it can preserve some of the very old manuscripts, very old books under the title of Archives unit. It also can have this Archives unit. And the students can have access to all these old manuscripts. Then students' grievance redressing systems. Some colleges have certain boxes called green box or black box. Black box for maybe for any complaint from a student, and green box maybe for any suggestions from students. These boxes can be kept near the student counter, or student's canteen, or the main building. Anytime they can come and drop the anonymous suggestions or complaints. And also anti-ragging and anti-harassment units should be there. And all the notices, the staff in charge, their contact information should be displayed in all the vital or the main places for students to notice. And there may be there should be a facility for counseling. Students have some difficulty, they may want to come and share. So a qualified counselor, if it's there, it is very good. Some students undergo certain mental stress, so they need a counselor to kind of address certain stressful students, and that will really come support students. For all these things, for all the initiatives, for all the entities, there must be some policy document. And you should have the SOP also, standard operating procedure. It must have a committee working on that, then some convener or coordinator. It must have the list of all the members, and the minutes of the meetings held, and the decision taken. All these things should be kind of scanned and brought to the IQAC. So this is very, very important. I've been telling again and again. I mean, these are very, very important. And sometimes we'll be having material purchased under these things. We have to have a stock register. And whenever students come to the library, there'll be a kind of entry register, and that should be kind of recorded. In our institution, we want to encourage students to visit library often. So we instituted a small an award, the most frequent visitor to the library. So every year we were kind of recording the entry, and we found who is the most frequent visiting student. And there was some kind of award to encourage students to kind of visit library often. With a lot of NPTEL videos and magazines that will attract the students to visit the library. And as I mentioned, the mentor record sheets. Some departments will have nice record sheets where it will have a lot of table column. It will indicate the staff, the students attended the remedial classes, and the title of the portion covered, and what is the result. So a kind of record sheets are very much used, and all sheets can be scanned, should be scanned and passed on to the IQAC. Fine. And there should be other facilities apart from these initiatives. A campus clinic which has the first aid essentials, and a nurse or a visiting doctor, especially if the institution is having a host facility, is very, very important. And for students to kind of have photocopies or any stationery purchase, if there's a small unit on campus, it's very, very essential. These units can also be run by students. They may get some small income, so it can be showed as a kind of a earn will you learn initiative. So these units can be governed through the Students' Council, and such facilities can also be made available in the on the campus. Then, of course, any college will have canteen facility. When the canteen is there, the items, the price should be clearly mentioned and displayed. Fitness and gymnasium or NCC, NSS units, all these are support facilities. All this will have their name plates, and the staff in charge will clearly written on the entry point of these cells. And as I said, list of personnel, the staff in charge, the activities, and what are the service they provide, and the timing or the functioning of the office. All this should be taken pictures. I said geotagged photos. There are some apps available, whether it's Android or iOS. These apps called geotagged photo apps. When you take a picture, the time, the geoposition of the place is automatically recorded. So that's the proof that the picture is taken on your campus very much within the time. So the geotagged photos are very, very important because when you upload the pictures in NAC, it will indicate when and where it was taken, so that it is very authentic that the picture was taken in your college facilities, and well within the time of the NAC period, assessment period. Coming to the job placement and higher education, there are two things. One is the job placements, the other is the higher education. Students may be, your college may be having some placement cell. Some big colleges need to have more than one staff in the placement thing. We have one placement officer, and we have associate officers also to help in the college on-campus recruitment. The job is very, very crucial for the placement officer, because the placement officer has to contact many agencies, companies to come on campus and do the recruitment. So it's very important for the placement officer. And each department should also have a kind of nodal officer. It could be even the same IQAC nodal officer or another nodal officer whose job is to communicate all the placement interviews, all the companies that come to campus through some WhatsApp group. So the time, the requirement, the place, everything should be well communicated to the students so that they'll come and report. Some companies may require BA economic students. Some companies may require hospital management students. So you have to specify the people, the group needed, discipline needed, the timing, all that. And all the notices that go should be recorded to be scanned. And once the interview is done, the call letter should be sent through the placement officer, because the placement officer should know how many were interviewed and how many were selected and what's the salary structure. Because the NAC requests about the number of students who get the on-campus placement and the starting salary package. Sometimes the companies will give a mail to the student directly, but it is important to give a copy or at least a photocopy to that placement cell. And the students who get recruited off campus, we may not have any clue, but for that, we have to have that also. So the department, the nodal officer, should be in touch with each class, at least in the final year students. And whenever they get a placement, he should get the data from the class. So generally, the students will have some class monitors or admin in the WhatsApp group, and they can be kind of helpful for us to give the details as and when students go through the placement or get placed. And another important time is that when the students come back for the college graduation ceremony, maybe after a year, when they come back to college for the graduation ceremony on the convocation day, they're supposed to fill a registration form. So we have made it online registration. Before they come to college, at least 1 week prior to the graduation or convocation, they're supposed to register their visit. And when they do so, we ask them about their placement, where they are placed now, which company they are placed, or what they are studying now, what course they are studying. All the details should be entered, mandatory. Only upon finishing all the details, they'll be able to register to come to the convocation. In case they're not placed, they're not studying, then they can mention that the other options, like they are searching for a job or they're preparing for examination, they're ready to join a course. So you can list all the options so that you're able to kind of get how many students are placed, how many students are undergoing education, and where. All that you can really track after 1 year. I mean, when they come back for college graduation day. The same thing, as I said, the same thing for higher education also. Wherever they are now placed, if they want to come to college for convocation, then they have to disclose the information. Some may not come to, because some may maybe be placed elsewhere, but they will get the degree on absentia. They have to apply online. At that time also, they're supposed to fill the details. But sometimes it's not possible to get all the details, but only by communication with the students, with our WhatsApp group or social media, only we can update. So NAC requests for the last 4 or 5 years, what is the rate, what is the amount of students who have gotten to placement, gotten to higher education. I mean, it's a difficult area, but through our student network, through the placement cell, only we can get this data. And this data will be slightly changing as students get into placement or when they get into higher education. So this has to be kind of updated maybe once every 2 or 3 months. And this file has to be updated in the IQAC. And this is done through the department IQAC representative. Only he knows what was updated earlier, and he can only update later. Students' participation in many of the events. It can be categorized into academic, cultural, and social. Also sports. Students need to kind of actively involve in many of the academic matters, especially in the board of studies, or the syllabus revision, or the academic council. Students need to represent because their views are to be kind of taken, very important. So in the form of, while we revise syllabus, I mean, it is advisable to revise syllabus once in 3 years. So that way, you can very well get the input from students also. It will be encouraging to students to involve in some of the social responsibility issues like flood relief or cyclone relief programs. The student council can actively involve in fundraising or in contributing or in distributing. Also, every college will have its own intercollegiate, interdepartment activities, both cultural and sports. It's all governed by the student body. All will be having a staff advisor, some staff coordinator. Everything should be kind of recorded or photographed. There can be some new initiatives like traditional or ethnic food festival, a food carnival. It can be done for some fundraising or for some social cause. So that way it may be different for a cause. It will really interest the students. It will make them involved. And there can be some student events like literary and debating, fine art clubs. Then if a campus has a lot of shrubs and trees, then it is very much possible to do some green auditing of the campus trees, types of trees. And also, if a campus has a lot of birds and animals, it is also possible to kind of have some water points placed. Well, our campus has a huge area, so our students have a small unit where they kind of keep a lot of water points to feed the birds and animals. They have water points, and then some place where they can place some grains also. Our campus has a lot of deers, peacocks, squirrels, and a lot of birds. So it is an initiative taken by our own students, and they actively involve. And there can be a lot of awareness programs and campaigns. You can encourage students to do a lot of slogan writing or doodle drawing or poster competitions, especially on the energy conservation or green initiatives. Or the NSS students can very well organize a blood donation camp, and they can be given some certificates at the end. There can be kind of some rallies also about the road safety or importance of helmet. Students can will arrange rallies with the holding placards. There can be students can very well initiate a lot of skits and street play, again to highlight some of the social evils and to bring awareness. And also we can observe some special days on campus. And all these are called awareness initiatives or campaigns. Everything should be well documented, the nature of activities, and there should be some write-up on all that. Who was the staff in charge should give a brief write-up. Generally in the college day or the convocation report, all these things will find a place. And whatever is handed over to the principal's office, with the permission of principal, can be handed over to the IQAC, or IQAC can have access to all these documents so that everything will be in place. When time of need, all these are very, very useful. Because when you prepare the document, at that time it is difficult. But as we kind of gather these documents every month, it comes easier for us. Also, while storing these documents, there should be some filing mechanism. You can put the heading of the file name as the event name, plus you can also indicate the criteria key indicator point along with the file name, so that when you search later, it is easy for you to kind of identify the content. So this only the IQAC coordinator can do. So the working committee can come and upload the document in the IQAC system, but the IQAC coordinator has to make sure that they are having a file name that goes well with the criteria points or criteria key indicator numbers. So later, the retrieving this document is very, very easy. And also recognizing students' achievements is also very important, as important as their participation. So whenever students come back with the awards to college or some honor or laurels bring to college, we should recognize them. So there can be some spots where these awards or certificates be displayed in the notice board. The notice boards can be very well near the students' council room or near the department or the main hall. So the display of awards won by students, maybe the photocopy should be displayed. And in case they win any trophy, especially in sports, big trophies, they can be really displayed on the table kept near the main hall with a note of congratulations to the students. Also, some of the award-winning models or painting can also be displayed at the department. This will really kind of give a sense of happiness to the students, and it will encourage other students also. At the same time, you can very well keep track of all these awards, trophies, take a picture and document. And also some colleges will have the LED board, some TV monitors where the news run. There also the picture of student, a picture of the award can be very well placed to run. We are doing it that in our college. So when the students say their own picture, their own award on the TV screen, they feel so kind of happy. They're motivated, they're recognized. So these forms of recognition are very, very encouraged to students. At the same time, more importantly, all these documents are coming to our IQAC. The scanned copies are very, very important. When I say sports, some students represent state, national. So those certificates are very, very valid, very, very important. So once they come to college with the certificates, our important job is to scan those certificates and keep a copy in our filing system. And old boys or old students of college also very, very important. They play a vital role. they have to be they have to involve actively. So how to make them involve actively? It is also possible to identify some of the special or distinguished alumni who passed out from college, maybe 20 or 30 years ago, who passed out. They must be in a very high position now. It is possible to kind of bring them and honor them, felicitate them. So you can very well arrange an annual event called Distinguished Alumni Series. That way, you can felicitate some of the high-profile people of your college. And that way, once they come, actually, their friends or our own college students, they're also kind of coming in. So that way, you're inviting your alumni to come back to college. You're inviting your old students to come back to college. So you're developing a kind of a rapport. And it's also possible to have some sport event, some cultural event involving your alumni. We used to have every year an annual old boys cricket match where the old students, they come and play student match with our current students. It's a time where they kind of get to know each other, and somebody sponsors some lunch. And so it's a nice time where the old people, our alumni, get a chance to meet or interact with our current students. And that attracts the old students to come to college. Every first Saturday of February, it's a designated day for our old boys cricket match. So wherever the students are, they know that the match will be on that day. So they come to college campus. I mean, this is just an idea. You can very well work on the whatever feasible idea for your college or for your situation. And once the alumni come to college, it is also possible to invite them as speakers for special events in your college, in your campus. And so they get involved. And it's also possible to kind of them to kind of support setting up some endowment, instituting some scholarships or endowments is possible. And some people who might be having some big industry or some farm, it is also possible for our students to kind of pay a visit to their farm or to the industry. That way, the alumni can very well help their alma mater. And of course, sometimes the classmates of a batch will decide to kind of contribute something for the college. It's also possible. So some of the college needs can be spelled out to the a batch of students, and they may be kind of jointly contributing to the college. In our college, near our college canteen, one batch of students, they made a lot of stone benches, and they made about 20 stone benches. It was arranged around our college campus. It was very natural, it was very nice, and it is very much memorable and useful to everybody. Also, alumni can very well involve in the curriculum or syllabus design. Some of them who in the IT industry can very well give input on the current trend, especially for the statistics or math or computer science department student and the staff. They can very well contribute in our curriculum design also. That must be a small office that will maintain the list of alumni and the list of events that take place, and what are the interactions that is done, and any kind of event or any matches that is played, a report about that all need to be kind of recorded and well placed. Some colleges have a huge network. They may be having their chapters, alumni chapters in various parts of the country. It is too good. If they have bigger alumni network, it is possible to have alumni chapters in different parts of the country as well. And talking about the feedback mechanism, it's very, very important. NAC recommends feedback from all the stakeholders, that is students, alumni, parents, and staff as well. This is very important because the feedbacks only help us to improve or to find some of the drawbacks in the existing system. The student feedback with the current system can be done, current students can be done with every semester, at the end of every semester. Generally, they make the fee payment or they make the semester fee payment, sometimes through online. At that time, you can very well make it mandatory to give them simple feedback about the courses, about the teaching learning process, or about the facilities on campus. It can be a simple feedback which you can make it mandatory from the students. Once you make it mandatory, you get a lot of input. Otherwise, some students, they ignore the feedback. And these feedback should be kind of studied, analyzed, and then you have to draw the conclusion, and that should be presented in a forum. It could be academic council, it could be heads meeting, or it could be the examination committee meeting, and the feedback analysis should be presented in such forums. And then the minutes where this is presented should also be kind of are very important. So that's a proof that the feedback analysis is presented in a meeting, in a forum. And then action taken report, what measures is taken in case there's any serious issue to be sorted out. That also be kind of noted in the following meeting. The same way, feedback from the students who passed out of the college. As I said, when they come back for the college graduation day, they're supposed to fill some data about the job placement, about higher education. At that time, a few questions about the feedback, about the curriculum, about the job market, the trend, current trend, they can give some input on that. That also will be a valid input in some of the forums, as I mentioned. And then mostly schools have parent-teacher associations. In colleges, not all colleges have this parent-teacher association, but the NAC peer team, when they visit, they expect a meeting or interaction with the parents also. So it's better to have a session with parents, or you can have interaction with some parents. Some parents, when they come for the fee payment, when they initially at the first year of joining, mostly students come with the parents. At that time, parents, they fill up the record forms and then submit. At that time, we know the name of the parent, their address, everything. So through that, it is possible to kind of communicate with parents and then bring them for a meeting or interact with them. Here again, the parents can give some input about the facilities on campus, general about the infrastructure, or about the sports or the hostel facility, about the events, how pleased are they with their the children education. That feedback is also very important. The student feedback can be every semester, whereas the alumni feedback or the parent feedback can be once in a year. And all these things should be kind of analyzed compulsorily and should be reported in a forum compulsorily. It should be recorded, it should be minuted compulsorily. And the action taken report should also find its place. This is very, very vital. So as I mentioned, all the admin and support units, offices, and academic departments, all these three generate a lot of information input. And these need to be kind of coordinated by the working committee as well as the department or office nodal representatives. And when you prepare the 250-word summary, it's very, very important. As I already mentioned that, it should capture the essence of each criteria. These 7 criteria, many of them have certain common input, common data. So it's advisable to make 3 or 4 versions of the SSR, and each criteria should be presented by the criteria leader in front of everybody, in front of every other criteria leaders, or in front of principal also, so that some data can be shared with the other criteria, or there should be coherence in the data. So only when all present, we will know the exact data or the facts. And whenever such sample SR are prepared, there'll be coherence, there'll be uniformity, and there'll be correctness of data. And all the working committee members should do the presentation. When they do the presentation, it becomes more serious because they give they take it very seriously. They enter the data, they present the data, and so the working committee members are encouraged to do a PPT presentation with their criteria data document. And the committee should also have some people good at English drafting. They can just help in the correctness of the grammar or the structure, so that the language is also taken care of. When the peer team visit, as I said, they'll have interaction with the students, interaction with the teaching staff, support staff, parents, and alumni. They do some random check. Of course, they visit all the departments, not all departments, certain units, so they can very well check any student, verify any document. So all the data document that prepared by the IQAC, prepared by the criteria leaders, should be clear to every member of the working committee, also every IQAC nodal representative, and also every HOD, so that certain basic essential data information is clear with all the members involved. And students should also be aware about, should be aware of certain functions of the college, certain units. So regularly the IQAC department representatives should communicate with students about the basics, functions of each units, the contact information, the duties of subcommittees, so they can update the students, so that students are updated. In case they are asked any information about the PAT members, they'll be in a position to give a response instead of just blanking off or blinking. Okay. So here I want to stop, and I want to answer if you have any questions, and if you can answer, I'll be happy. I stop here and over for Q&A session now.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Now it is time for the participants can raise your queries. Dear participants, you just unmute your mic and raise your queries.
Hello. 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 Good afternoon, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, madam.
Hello.
Please go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, I'm Zahira from Nanda Engineering College, working as an associate professor in MCA department.
Okay. Yes, madam.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Sir, your presentation is really crystal clear, sir.
Okay,
We
ma'am.
got a lot of point from you, sir.
Okay.
Sir, only one request. Will you please share that PPT to us, sir?
By all means, sure. I will post it to the IQAC coordinator, Dr.
Jai Sudha, madam.
Jai Sudha, madam. Jai Sudha. Madam, participants, please contact Dr. Jai Sudha. She will post it to you. Sure.
Sure.
I'll
Sure,
pass
sir.
on to the
Sure,
coordinator. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, sir.
We'll mail it
Sir.
to them.
Sir, good afternoon. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Thanks
welcome.
a lot. I'm Jagda Lakshmanan from Gobichettipalli, PK Arts College for Women. Hello.
Yes, madam. Yeah.
I don't know, somebody is interrupting. I don't know whether I can be heard.
Yeah.
Am I
Go
clear?
ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
I'm Jagda Lakshmanan. Actually, sir, it was very clear, as the previous person said. It was an excellent presentation. And one difficulty we are having.
Sure. I will post to the IQAC
Excuse
coordinator.
me. Some other person is talking. Somebody else is talking.
Sir, yes,
Hello.
sir.
Hello.
Echo aade.
Hello.
Please contact Jai Sudha. She will post it to you.
Hello,
Sure.
sir.
Yes,
Hello.
yes, ma'am. Yeah,
Other
yes, madam.
participants,
Go ahead,
other
madam.
participants, please mute your microphone. Let madam speak, and then you can follow.
Yes, one
Please.
by one. I'm sorry, sir, for disturbing you. Actually, the thing is very clear. We are also on these lines only. But some more, this policy making you told us, because where we failed to make a policy
Document.
and we don't appoint committees, and this geo-tagged photos that we failed to do. That part is very clear from your presentation. But one difficulty we are facing with the alumni students, we are not able to get data, however much you contact them, whether they are doing higher studies or they are employed. Sometimes they are getting placed. And after that, whether they are continuously in the job or they have quit the job, whether they are going for higher studies or what they are doing, we are unable to get, being girls. It's a women's college, this is. Under such circumstances, so we are really suffering, like we are not able to contact. We have a very good system as far as alumni is concerned. We conduct alumni meeting every year, and we have registered alumni association, and we collect some fund every year, and so we have raised some fund also. All those requirements of the NAC we are fulfilling, but contacting the alumni students, they seems to be very difficult. In spite of your suggestions, whatever suggestions you were giving, we invite some of them and ask them to be a chief guest. 1 or 2 people, they come here and they participate. All those things are nice, but still everybody's, all branches of studies, we are not able to get the students what they're doing. I mean, what they're doing really. That difficulty is there. Can you give us some idea, if it is possible? I know what idea can you give? I don't know.
Sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is a very common question and common difficulty also. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
We also had the difficulty initially. Very difficult.
Yes.
Unless the student get back to us, we cannot do anything.
I know.
So what we did was we want to develop a very tight rapport with them.
Okay.
So now the initiative is that we are giving them our college domain email ID.
Okay.
The college domain email ID will have their own registered number plus your college domain email ID, which you can get from Google.
Okay, sir.
So that way, you can have all the email IDs of your own students.
Okay.
And the department representative officer will have the student name list and the date of birth also.
Yes.
So that in the class group, it is exclusively for their own class group. They will wish each other. They will kind of greet each other on their day of birthday and all.
Okay, sir. Yes,
so,
sir. Nice idea.
And they're supposed to share academically useful and kind of uplifting messages. Nothing different. That's a common understanding.
Okay.
And one in the group, one student will be in touch with our staff.
Yes.
And he has to all the time keep informing us about their student placement, their job opportunity. So this is kind of gradually built, and you have to have always a good rapport with the students. And we have a department functions. Every year we have one department function. And you have to send an invitation note to the group. You can invite them to come and have a cup of coffee with us. Please come and have coffee with us. Share your pictures.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
All the pictures that you taken, you can share in that WhatsApp group. Just keep them actively involved.
Yes.
To some extent, you can retain some students.
Yes. Only some students, as you said. Really.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, sir. Right? Nice idea, sir.
And madam, I tell you, and as they get older and older, they'll get back to you. They'll get back to you.
The older, after a few years, they come back with their own daughters for admission sometimes.
Yes.
But immediately.
And certain things are time-taking process. It cannot be done. Taking a geotech picture, it can just take a matter of seconds. Whereas these things take months and years also.
Yeah, I know, sir.
So whatever the hard work that you do, your success will benefit the future years.
Sir, as the previous person said, we also want a copy of your the presentation, whatever you have done. And I hope the organizers will send us all a copy of the presenters, whatever you have presented. I'm so happy I listened to you. It was an excellent presentation. Congratulations. And thanks a lot. On a Sunday, you have spent so much of your energy to contact us and to give us all these inputs. Thanks a lot again to the organizers. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Have a good day. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. I am Ramesh from PSG College of Arts and Science, Coimbatore, sir.
Good morning, sir. Please go ahead.
Sir, first of all, thanks a lot for a crystal clear presentation, sir. I do have 2 questions. The first one is related to skill development programs, sir.
Yes, sir.
I think we are already having it in criteria 1, 1.1.3, number of courses having employability, entrepreneurship, and skill development. And how this skill development program discussed in student support is different from criteria 1, sir.
Yes, sir. The one in criteria 1 is quite different from what we talk about in criteria 5. The vocational educational programs are completely outside the class hours.
Okay.
Outside the class hours. That is for employability, and that's done exclusively in connection with the industry partner.
Okay.
It'll have some field exposure. And in criteria 1, they talk about some value education program. Some of our courses, for example, maybe in zoology, they have a course on vermiculture and vermicomposting. They may be having a course. And that course is very much having a lot of employability opportunity, but the input will be more of academic input. So such courses should be identified, and that can be counted as vocational value added courses. And there may be some courses that talk about that talk more about national issues. So that can be of national importance. Some courses like environmental studies, EVS, they are very much value enhanced courses. So we have to identify these courses and count them as value added courses or vocational value courses.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Then second question is regarding feedback, sir.
Yeah.
So we are collecting feedback through Google Forms, sir. And in DVV, it requires sample filled in feedback forms from stakeholders to be provided. So in that case, which should be shown to the DVV, sir?
Okay, actually, NAC suggests there's a questionnaire with the 21 questions. There are 20 questions with the MCQ and one descriptive.
Yes.
There are 21 questions. These 21 questions, you cannot do that to students, because if you do that, you have to indicate that in the NAC that have you already given these questions. So it is better to kind of have different feedback questions on teaching, learning, evaluation, facilities, everything for students. And Google Form is a good thing as long as you're able to cover the 7 criteria or at least the 5 criteria. The governance leadership is different. Is different for the other 5 criteria. If you can make some questions, 2-3 questions, and make a feedback form to the students, it is very, very vital. And if you can do this feedback every semester, the students become familiar with this feedback mechanism. So when the NAC does the students sample survey, there'll be good percentage of students response on that. The NAC will expect a good percentage of response from students on the student sample survey. So if the students are trained to answer the feedback every semester, they will definitely kind of respond to the student sample survey.
Okay, okay. Yes, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, madam.
Good afternoon, sir. Myself, Vanati, from the Department of Management.
Madam.
And I also serve as IQAC member. I'm very glad that you have given such a clear and realistic presentation, sir. You have linked everything, not apart from criterion 5. We could inspire the importance of each and every criteria which are reflected in criterion 5, sir. My insight into it is, when we started the discussion, you just coined a word, patience and perseverance towards a thing has a great impact on the work what we do. That is reflected in your presentation, sir. And the second thing I would notice is you have given very simple and things that can be implemented very easily with regard to student progression. I take into the point like inviting the alumni for a cricket match will be an excitement in the campus. And it is a easy way where we can score up also, sir. That was very nice. And displaying the winners of the department and the students, which will an encouraging one and make the campus enlightened with the student performance. Other students will be also motivated on it. These things were very nice in your presentation. I'm taking into it so as a teacher and an IQAC member, sir. And I congratulate wholeheartedly for the excellent presentation on behalf of our team, sir. And I have one clarification from you, sir. As you said, value-added courses is under criterion 1. if when we are making any changes in the board of studies, or we are coming up with new courses, value added courses, automatically it can also be covered as occasional, no sir? We have, for example, we ourselves offer a program called soft skill development by our department. Business management department is offering that course as extra departmental course. Can we follow the same syllabi for offering as a occasional course or certificate program, sir? Can we do that, sir?
You mean the vocational courses that you offer can also be counted as value added course, you mean?
Can we add more input into it, or revision of syllabus inside it, and change it as value added also on the same thing, sir?
Yeah,
is it possible?
there's a subtle difference. When you say value added, it can import certain social values, civic senses, moral insights, all that. But in vocational, it is more of job opportunity or employability.
Okay.
So
sir.
some courses they have common, but so the slight subtle difference when you say moral values are there everywhere, but when you say vocational, it's more focused on the practical job opportunity, employability. So that will be slight difference.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Participants, do you have any query? Please raise now.
If not question, I can give one more point for others to listen.
Yes,
I mentioned the student initiatives. I can just say one thing which in our college being practiced. The Department of Botany, they display every day 3 plants in the common room. 3 plants, which of course our campus is quite big. We have plenty of shrubs and herbs and lot of plants, and students have to bring 3 plants and they place it in 3 bottles, and the botanical name and the local name, and if there's any kind of medicinal value, they just write it on a piece of paper and then just keep it on the near the side of the plants. And these 3 plants are kept the whole day for people to come and view, and every day they change, the plants. The plants can repeat also, but the point is students actually involved in kind of going and grabbing a plant, asking the staff about the name, and finding Google search and find the medicinal values, write that and place it. So it's a kind of a simple act, but it's very, very relevant, make them very active, and also informative to whoever is passing by that way. The same way, zoology department, they display some of the zoological specimens every week in front of the department. So whoever is passing by the department will also just stand there, gaze at that, and just be kind of aware about this basic knowledge. And the maths department, they display every month about a mathematician, his work, his contribution in the notice board. And who was passing by, they just stop there, know about the person, his contribution. So few lines. So each department can very well do its own special thing as a kind of an extra practice. It may be different, it will engage the students, and it's informative to others also. And you can, more than that, you can claim that as a simple initiative of the department and document that. Yeah.
Fine, sir. Fine, sir.
Thank you for this sharing, sir. This is again Vanati. At this point, I would also say that in our campus also, zoology students are doing vermicompost. They have their own unit and they are selling the product to all the people in the campus, sir. It was a good initiative taken by them.
Wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Mushroom culture also there.
Yeah. Wonderful, man. Wonderful, wonderful.
Shanti ma'am, unmute yourself.
Shanti ma'am. Shanti ma'am. Shanti ma'am, unmute your phone first. Unmute your mic.
Hello.
Karthikeyan sir.
Hello, Robin.
Hello. Yeah. Tell me.
Hello. It's a really wonderful presentation. Okay. So you have explained every bit of thing very clearly, very clearly.
Okay.
Our college is very much grateful for this presentation.
Thank you.
Also, I want to ask, we fall under this criteria, but I want to ask what kind of MOUs that being you and me being mathematicians, what kind of MOUs that Department of Mathematics can have?
Okay. We have signed a MOU with about 31 universities, and we have signed MOU with certain companies also. When we sign MOU, the MOU is signed between the university and the college. Basically, it will cover the 4 aspects: staff mobility, student exchange, and joint hosting of workshops, conferences, and sharing of information and knowledge. These are the 4 broad areas we can indicate in the MOU. And once the MOU is signed, any department can very well interact with the respective department in that university and share the knowledge, joint publication, joint hosting. And some universities are very specific on certain disciplines. In that case, apart from memorandum of understanding, they have to sign a memorandum of agreement. It may be a kind of student exchange on a very specific thing. Otherwise, staff exchange of information, knowledge, and joint conferences, joint publications, very much possible. And we have about 4 or 5 universities actively involved in the joint publications and visiting each other.
Thank you. These are all you have given so many ideas. Really, I am very much thankful to you. But it becomes difficult for a college, it's a rural college like us, isn't it? To have a memorandum with the foreign universities or...
Yes. So I suggest one thing. You can very well look for the big universities in Tamil Nadu or institutes in Tamil Nadu, maybe IAC Bangalore, IIT Madras, ISI. You can look for these premium institutions and then try to have a very simple understanding. Just staff visiting and they coming and giving lectures like that. Simple. You can claim that as your MOU. And then you can have some tie-up with local laboratories, factories, for students to make an industry visit and students visit their laboratories. So the MOU can be simple, but they can be counted as a MOU. So you can sign a MOU with the local laboratories, institutes, factories. All are counted as MOUs.
MOUs. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Sir, this is Devarajan, sir.
Yes, sir. Tell me.
Sir, while offering any certificate courses by the department itself, is it necessary to have MOU with industry?
So actually, when you have a local level certificate program, there's no need. But if it depends on the nature of course that you offer. If the course has a practical component, if you can manage by yourself for the department, then there's no need. But if you have an industry kind of tie-up, then that gives an extra exposure, the field exposure to the student. That way they get more knowledge. And this is at the first level. But if we have a nice accreditation body to recognize a certificate, that's all the more important. Because you can very well self-attest that you are a nice course, but if it's accredited by a government agency, it becomes very, very valuable for the student.
Okay. Is it considered as a vocational training program, sir? Suppose we offered a course, certificate courses by the department itself, without having MOU with any industry.
Yes,
it is not recognized.
It is not recognized by UGC.
Yes, sir. That is what I'm asking, sir.
Yes, but to start a UGC recognized level program, if you can start simple, that can enhance, yes, develop further, and then you can go for bigger level. Yes.
Okay. Sir, any query?
Sir, one more. This is Murugananam.
Yes, sir.
Sir, the participant asked me a query about regarding the feedback collection. Whether the feedback through Google form. Can we document the Google form as supporting evidence? Hello?
Hello? Hello, sir?
Sir? Sir?
Yeah, chalega. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Regarding the collection of feedback.
Yes, sir.
Through Google form. Okay, so can we document the Google form as a supporting evidence? Sample
very much
feedback.
I mean, for the local feedback, it is very much perfect, sir. It's very much feasible because now government is encouraging virtual events and virtual survey. So it is very much valid. You can very well take it. I mean, the authenticity of the information is more important. So as long as students give correct data, that's very much valuable. And nowadays, I mean, with COVID, there's no other way we can communicate. We have to purely go by online. Yeah, and Google Forms are very convenient form of communication forms. So it's very much valid.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
But when you compile your analysis, it's a different thing. The forms are there. When you do the analysis, it's your own spreadsheet, all that.
Okay, sir.
Sir, in the chat box, there is one question.
Yes, sir.
How come we go with the foreign universities MOU?
Okay, sir.
Please guide.
Yeah, if your colleagues have visited any conferences abroad, if you have colleagues publish any paper jointly with any professor abroad, that can be a nice starting point. Having published a paper, having done a joint work, that professor can communicate and we can ask whether the university is willing to have a tie-up with your university, because you have one common ground for a joint work.
Okay.
So if you have already established some joint work with the professor, it's easier because you already know about the university. Otherwise, if you can just go to some of the publications and identify a high-profile professor, it is possible to write to them, to the university, and express your area of expertise, your university or college area of expertise, or how we can jointly collaborate, that you can indicate and then mention them.
Okay, sir. Day5, madam.
Yes, now you can go ahead. Sir,
Where are the queries?
Participants,
you can go ahead with the formal vote
any
of thanks.
queries?
Devarajan, sir.
I think no more queries now. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
you can go ahead with the vote of thanks.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. SM sir, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon to one and all present here. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. IQAC of Erode Arts and Science College organized a webinar on institutional accountability towards student support and progression. I'm grateful to our management for giving such a wonderful platform for organizing such type of program for the benefit of faculty members in NAC. Thank you. I would like to express our profound gratitude to our principal, Dr. R. Venkatachalam, for his moral sustain and leadership. Thank you, sir. I may like to express our sincere thanks to Dr. Robinson Tamburach, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Mathematics, Madras Christian College, for giving an excellent coverage to his speech and encouragement. I'm sure that all the participants have taken note of your suggestion and will be discussing with their organization the action to be initiated at their level. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks to Dr. Venkatachalam, the Controller of Examination, for the perfect logistic support and guidance has extended to all of us at this occasion. Thank you, sir. I wish to express my gratitude to my head, Dr. N. A. Krishnamurthy, heads, faculty participants from our own institution and other institutions across the country for making this event successful with your effective participation. I'm happy to express the vote of thanks to the technical supporters who have been running around doing a lot of things for making this webinar a grand success. I personally thank the IQAC coordinator, member, department coordinator for excellent support for success of the webinar. Once again, I thank one and all. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will
Sir,
send a
Robinson,
mail to
sir,
you, ma'am.
personally
Sir,
thank.
sir, we want, sir,
Sure,
1 minute.
sir.
Sir, 1 minute. We want your
Thank you,
number,
Robin.
phone number, and
Okay,
your email ID if it is possible, if it is not a problem.
Sure, sure.